as far-left socialists sweep key races across the nation. Now, we've been watching this coming for a while, but now it's an insurgence, and moderates in that party had better watch out. And everybody else, too. The insurgency is rattling establishment Democrats and sparking fears about the future of the party during the midterm elections and beyond. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. I call it the socialism disease. And if they don't put this down, it's going to happen across the country, and it affects everybody, not just Democrats. This scroll shows the far left's influence right now across America. Major progressive groups have endorsed nearly 20 candidates, and at least 25 have already won in multiple states, including Illinois, Michigan, Maine, and Pennsylvania. President Trump says it goes beyond socialism.
Why do you think it is that now the endorsement of Zohran Mamdani means more than the endorsement of Hakeem Jeffries?
Well, they're going radical left. They're going, really, you talk about the Democrat socialists, it's really communist. If you look throughout history, go back thousands of years, you've always had socialism and communism by different names. It's never ever worked. It's not going to work this time.
A New York Times headline on the New York primary that went on this week, quote, after banner night, the Democratic Socialists of America, or the DSA, sharpens its policy and political ambitions. Just some of the group's radical policies. I mean, we have to scroll because the show's only an hour. And replacing the two-party system is one of them. Well, that makes sense because they're taking over the Democrat Party, using their money, but they are straight-up socialists and communists. Implementing a popular vote for president, limiting the power of the U.S. Supreme Court, and more on this list. The DSA and its endorsed candidates also facing accusations of anti-Semitism. All that Jewish hate rocks chaos, and they reign supreme if they can cause enough chaos and racial and religious division among all of us. And again, raising fears about whether the party, the Democrat Party as a whole, is a welcoming place for even a Jewish representative. One liberal columnist called Tuesday night's primary wins a genuinely scary night for New York City Jews. That's a quote. Another left-leaning activist said, everyone seems to be blaming Jewish people for political gain. As a Jewish person, I fear I do not have a political home. Another quote. Chief Congressional Correspondent Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. Chad.
Harris, good morning. Democrats are veering to the left. That's one challenge for the party, but anti-Israel views coupled with anti-Semitism is toxic. Some Democrats are starting to speak out. That could spark an internal Democratic civil war.
People don't have to agree with me on policies. They can have different positions, right? And the voters get to make those choices. But for me, what's going on is the movement has embraced a lot of anti-Semites. And some of the people coming here have a history of anti-Semitism having nothing to do with Israel.
Of course, the more time that Democrats spend brawling with one another means less focus on Republicans. The GOP has not enjoyed a stellar week, especially after President Trump refused to sign a bipartisan housing bill. But Republicans are happy to shine a light on Democratic infighting, especially since the party embraced the left.
They created this monster. The Democrats in here, they created this monster by trying to placate the radical left wing of their base, and now this socialist monster has eaten them alive.
The DSA even wants to abolish the Senate and have Congress choose the president. That's why some Democrats say enough is enough.
They try to crash our party, the Democratic Party. They're going to be loud, and we have to just remind everybody that where our country is. They want common sense. They want people to solve problems. They want people screaming and yelling and being against law enforcement or standing up and saying our country is not the greatest country in the world. And so, I think it's going to be a fight.
Now, the progressive message may resonate with urban voters, but it does not work in swing districts. Democrats need to flip those in order to capture the House. Republicans will focus on Democratic divides this fall. Harris?
All right, Chad, thank you very much. Some headlines now showing what would appear imminent political pandemic of socialism and communism. The Democratic debate is over. Take a look at your screen now. The left won. Democrats cliff dive over the far left edge of American politics. Democrats fret Mayor Mamdani's socialists will cost them in November. The Wall Street Journal editorial board writes, quote, another reason for the socialist rise is that mainstream liberals put up so little resistance. After Tuesday, they may offer even less resistance. They will face more socialist challengers across the country, and history says they will try to survive by accommodating the left's ideas. The socialist vision of class conflict and everything for everybody economics has ruined so many countries. Sooner or later, socialism crashes into reality, but it can do plenty of damage before it does. Power panel now. David Avella, GOPAC chairman. Melissa DeRosa, Democrat strategist. Melissa, this is your party. We have talked about this in recent days, and it seems to be picking up steam. Why are Democrats giving their financial resources to socialists?
I mean, listen, Harris, it is time to sound the alarm for the middle. Moderates need to be speaking up loud and clear right now, because this is an attempt by the socialists to do a full-on takeover of the party. And the way that this is going to work, that I fear you're going to see trickle across the country, is that Democrats see what happened in New York last night, or 2 nights ago, excuse me, and then they fear that if they don't themselves move further to the left, they're going to incur similar primary situations. And so you're going to see establishment Democrats move further and further to the left in an attempt to stave off primary battles in their own districts. And again, this isn't just New York. This is New York. This is D.C. This is L.A. This is Boston. This is Chicago. And so you are seeing this spread across the country. And if we don't do something collectively to stop it now, they are going to take over the party.
Look, David, she's got a good point. Yesterday, in a Faulkner Focus report, we had a Democrat alderman in Chicago. So not just the coast of the country, but right in the center. Raymond Lopez said socialists and the Democrat Party, he was pointing to them for the rise in crime and some of the decisions that they want, push against ICE, push against police. We want to abolish prisons, that sort of thing.
This is the opening Republicans need for keeping the House and the Senate this cycle. Because as the messaging continues to revolve around what these Democratic socialists are campaigning on, you're going to have Democratic members in competitive districts that are either going to have to reject the message and potentially lose votes amongst their base, or they're going to have to embrace the message, which is going to cost them amongst independent voters and swing voters. They have a choice. But let's not forget where this all comes from. Democratic socialism came out of France about 20 years ago, or 2 decades ago. And then you get folks like Karl Marx who embraced it. And then guess what? Then Bernie Sanders embraces it. And this is all Bernie Sanders' children. All of these leaders right now are folks that got into the movement because of Bernie Sanders. He controls this party, and that's where the Democrats are.
Yeah, but his key protege, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, seems to be giving us just silence and crickets right now. I mean, I don't even know if those on the far left saw this coming to the point where they want to jump on. Where is she? Where's AOC? Melissa?
No, listen, AOC is all over this as well. She made a strategic decision in New York not to go against the incumbent Democratic Congress members because she didn't want to go against her sitting colleagues. So she had Zoran and she had Bernie take the lead there. But what she did in New York is she supported all of the people that were challenging incumbent state legislators, state assemblymen, state senators. So she and Zoran really engaged in some gamesmanship here. But make no mistake, this is AOC, it's Zoran, it's the squad, it's Bernie. And to your point, Bernie Sanders is not even a registered Democrat. He is an independent, and he is the de facto head of the party. And I think that there's a lot of denialism going on between Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries about the very real reality that is going on within this party and this movement that's sweeping the country. And if we don't stop it now, we are going to be wandering in the wilderness for 10 years because it may work in primaries and blue areas, but it will not translate to red districts, purple districts, or purple states.
Right, all right. I mean, you guys can wander around all the world that you want, but if you infect the next generations of voters in this country, that changes both parties. Last quick thought, David.
Look at the Michigan race that's coming up. If El Said wins that Democratic primary, it gives Republicans a great opportunity with Mike Rogers to pick up a seat in Michigan.
All right, there you go. Great to have you both. Thank you very much. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.